Well, good afternoon, Holy Trinity. This is Pastor Daniel checking with you once again for another video update. Now, last week's video update focused primarily on all of the new protocols involved with our restart of in-person worship. I'm happy to announce that everything went quite smooth this past Sunday. Both of the services went over very, very well. We didn't have any major bumps in the road in regards to the new protocols. We feel that everything worked out so well that we're just going to keep on with those protocols, move forward with them, so we don't feel the need to change anything currently. We're going to continue to evaluate them, see how they go in the future, and make adjustments as needed. But currently, we're going to continue to do exactly what we did this past Sunday. But that was last week's update. This week's update is going to primarily focus on the live stream. Now, I'm well aware that we had one primary issue with the live stream, and that was the audio. It was the sound that was coming through. Many reported that it was very difficult to hear, or they just simply couldn't hear at all. And that is a byproduct of two primary problems. Number one is the actual sound system here in the church. It's got a couple of issues with it. And we discovered a couple of other things that were wrong with the system that fortunately we've been able to correct. But that was one of the main problems. We weren't getting a lot of sound out of the actual sound system here in the church, and therefore the microphone on the camera couldn't pick up enough to put it out on the live stream. And that's problem number two. The microphone on the camera is a very small, tiny microphone, and it simply wasn't big enough to collect all of the sound in the space and therefore send it out to the live stream. So we've addressed both of those issues. I'm going to walk you through those right now. In regards to the sound system here in the church, we found out that there was one major problem going on. In fact, I've been aware of it since I started here because people told me about it, but it really wasn't a problem until now with regards to the live stream. And the problem was this, and I'm going to have to move around the church a little bit. The main speakers in the room, the primary speakers that send the sound into the sanctuary, often called the mains, are up here. They are those two speakers that hang from the ceiling that shower downward the sound over top of the congregation. Those speakers have never worked since I showed up here at Holy Trinity, and some have said they haven't worked for a long time. We didn't know why they didn't work. They just simply didn't work. Well, if your main speakers aren't working, then obviously you're not going to get a lot of sound into the sanctuary. In fact, the only speakers that were actually working to produce sound from the sound system were those two little speakers in the back, and they're over my shoulder. There's one there in that back corner, and there's one over there in that corner. And they're small, and they were producing sound from the rear of the church and putting it forward. And they were small speakers that weren't putting out a lot of sound. That's one of the main reasons why it was so difficult to hear the live stream. There just simply wasn't a lot of sound coming out of the sound system. I began to dive into our sound system. I am a bit of a techie, geeky type person, and I've got experience with sound systems and video systems and things like that. So I began to dive into our sound system here at the church to find out why the mains weren't working. And fortunately, but yet kind of unfortunately, I did discover why the mains weren't working. And if you're ready for it, they were simply unplugged. That was it. That was why they weren't working. They were unplugged from the amplifier that powers them. And all I had to do was plug them back into the amplifier, and they worked. And actually, they worked just fine. And also, once you plug those mains in, you get a significant volume increase of the sound coming out of the sound system. So that was a win for all of us now that the mains are back online and we can produce a lot of sound here in the sanctuary. Now the good news is that will definitely help in regards to the live stream. We'll produce more sound out of the sound system and it will be picked up by the microphone on the live stream and go out to the live stream. The unknown is how much sound do we need to have to be picked up by the microphone. So I've picked a level that was definitely higher than it was this past Sunday. So those who are coming to in-person worship, you're definitely going to notice a volume difference. I didn't want to make it so loud that it causes a headache for those who are sitting here in the sanctuary, but hopefully loud enough that it gets picked up by the live stream microphone. And we'll make adjustments to that in time. This Sunday will be a bit of a trial and error to see how it goes. But we'll go one Sunday and see how the volume is both in the house and on the live stream and make adjustments from there. But I was very thrilled to be able to get the main speakers back working again so that we can produce a lot more sound here inside the sanctuary. The other primary issue was our Lectern Microphone. Many said that they could hear me okay, but when people went to read readings from the lectern, they couldn't hear them at all. And as I began to dig into the settings of our Lectern Microphone, I discovered that the Lectern Microphone was set at such a low volume that you literally had to be within an inch or two from the microphone in order to be picked up by it to be put through the sound system. So as people were reading from the microphone like at a normal distance, the microphone simply wasn't picking them up. So all you were really hearing was their natural voice inside the sanctuary with no sound amplification at all. So this is our Lectern Microphone here. It's the black microphone right there. I was able to find some of the settings in regards to that microphone, and I was able to boost the gain on that microphone, and the gain is what determines how sensitive it is. I was able to get it back to operating pretty much normal, where now you can stand about 12 to 18 inches away from the microphone as if you're standing at the podium reading, and it can pick you up just fine. And so now that sound is going through the sound system, through the main speakers that are back online, and now you can hear the Lectern Microphone significantly better, both in the sanctuary, but also hopefully through the live stream too. So that was the second major improvement. The third improvement, I can't show you at this point, but I've ordered a new microphone for the live stream camera. A better microphone to test out to see if it will capture the sound in the room a lot better. So therefore, hopefully get good sound going into the live stream. All of this will be trial and error. We'll find out on Sunday just exactly how good or not so good it works. But we are working on the problem, and we wanted everyone to know that we did recognize that there was a sound issue, and we are definitely working on it. So again, Sunday, bear with us. We are doing our best to make it work with what we got here in the house. But I think we'll definitely see some form of an improvement this coming Sunday. One of the other questions that we got from people was, it involved people having some issues logging into Facebook if they didn't have an account. And that is kind of its own problem. Facebook does make a way in which you can access pages without having an account. The catch is it differs from device to device. If you're on a desktop computer or a laptop computer, depending on the web browser that you're using, the interface is going to look a little different. If you're on a tablet, if you're on a phone, and using the app, the Facebook app, the interface is going to look a little different. So sometimes skipping around and not logging in but still being able to view the page is different from device to device. So I had some standardized directions in the email that went out, but they aren't universal because it can vary from device to device. So I say all that to say that if you do have problems viewing the live stream and it's because you don't have a Facebook account, let me know. Send myself an email or send the church office an email. Let me know if you're having a difficulty seeing the live stream from home or logging in. And then I'll see if we can troubleshoot that for you. And then if we do, we can offer an update in the email because other people may have the same exact problem and it'll help them out too. So again, if you're having issue logging into Facebook because you don't have a Facebook account, then let us know. Most people that have Facebook accounts, I think should easily be able to log into Facebook and see the video. I haven't heard too many problems there. So that's the video update for this week. All about the live stream and the improvements to the live stream so we can better that ministry. So as always, until we get to see each other in person, just know that my thoughts and prayers are with each and every one of you, and may God's blessings be upon us all, always. Bye-bye now.